Our topic today is dividing integers in improper fractions. The central question is, how are fractions related to division? When dividing positives and negatives, how can you remember if the answer is positive or negative? So in the past, you've learned that these words are associated with division. Like right here, this would be the dividend. This word right here that you're dividing the dividend by is called the divisor. And then the answer to a division problem is called the quotient. Okay, so you've learned that these are words that are associated with division. Okay, and so when you're confronted with a situation like this, you should be thinking, how many times does 5 fit into 100? So traditionally, you've seen this symbol to know what to divide. However, you should also know that fractions are basically division problems too. Fractions are basically division problems too. Okay, so you see this right here? This right there, the fraction bar also means divide. So when we divide this, you can go 100 divided by 5, and you would get 20. Or one way to simplify fractions is to divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number. I know that 5 goes into both, so I'm going to divide the numerator by 5. That's how I get 20, and also the denominator by 5, and that's how we get 1. 20 divided by 1 is also 20, so both of these answers are acceptable. So let's get used to viewing fractions as division. So you could think of it as the dividend divided by the divisor, similar to up here, the dividend divided by the divisor, like that. Or you can call it the numerator divided by the denominator. And when you take the dividend divided by the divisor, or when you take the numerator divided by the denominator, that's going to give you a fraction as your answer, like right up here. It can give you a decimal answer. It can give you the quotient or a ratio. Okay. For your summary, I need to know, are these all equivalent? Yes or no? And yes, write them out. Okay, write out the question, write that out. Are they all equivalent, yes or no? So you can use what you already know about multiplying positives and negatives to help you with division. So just kind of deal with or work with the fact families that you already know. 4 times 3 is 12, so 12 divided by 3 is going to be 4. 4 multiplied by a negative 3 is going to give you a negative 12. So negative 12 divided by negative 3 is going to give you a positive 4. A negative 4 times a positive 3 is going to give you a negative 12 as an answer. So negative 12 divided by positive 3 will give us negative 4 as our answer. Negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. So positive 12, like right here, divided by a negative 3 will give us negative 4 as our answer. So here's a little chart that can help you with multiplying and dividing positives and negatives. And I want to reiterate and stress this very much, that this only works for multiplication and division, okay? It only works for multiplying and dividing. Oops. So when you're looking at it, multiplying, you're going to look at them as rows. Okay? So for example, if you had a positive times a negative, you'd have a negative answer. So in this case, like the above situation, if you had a positive 4 times a negative 3, you'd have a negative 12 as your answer. So you have positive times a negative, right there, will give you a negative answer. Okay? So if you had a negative times a positive, that would give you a negative answer. If you had a negative times a negative, like right here, it would give you a positive answer. Okay? So that's for multiplying. And remember, this chart only works for multiplying and dividing. For division, you're going to look at it as columns. Okay, it's the same exact little tic-tac-toe looking chart, but it's only going to work for multiplying and dividing. Okay, multiplication is this way, dividing is going down. So like right here, if you had a positive divided by a negative, like a positive 12 divided by a negative 3, you would get a negative answer. If you had a negative divided by a positive, you get a negative answer. Okay. If you had a negative divided by a negative, like negative 12 divided by negative 3, it'd give you a positive 4 as your answer. It only works for multiplying and dividing. Don't use it for addition and subtraction. For addition and subtraction, you're going to be remembering the number line, okay? That's your resource. This is only for multiplying and dividing. For your summary, I want you to answer the following. Negative 8 divided by 2. Write your answer right there. This one, 12 divided by negative 3. Write your answer right there. 20 divided by negative 4. Write your answer right there. Negative 50 divided by negative 2. Okay, so if you see a situation like this, see how that, how you're going to see that there's the negative sign or the minus sign right in between, or right in between, like right there. It's not up on the top or down on the bottom, it's right where the fraction bar is, where the negative symbol is in the middle. You can designate either the numerator or the denominator as the negative value to help you get the correct answer when dividing. Okay, so this can be written as this, or it can be written like this. All three of these will give you the exact same answer to help you divide, okay? However, oh, and you also can remember that you can write it like this, in parentheses. Okay? However, you can't make both of them negative. So this means not equal to this. Okay, this is not equal to all these guys over here. Okay? Because all these folks right here will give you an answer of negative 4. But this one right here would give you an answer of positive 4. So we know that they are not equal. Negative 4 is not equal to 4, okay? So you want to see all these will equal the exact same answer of negative 4. Those are the various ways that you can write it. They all look the same. This is the oddball one when it's written like that, okay? Also, if you saw it like this, that also equals 4. Okay, so these two are equal to each other, and these 4 are equal to each other, but these on either side of this non-equal sign, those don't equal each other, okay? So those equal, and those equal the same thing. Make sure you don't make both the numerator and denominator negative, because that will not give you the equivalent value, as we see right here. Okay. Okay, practice dividing these improper fractions. I would pause the video, see if you can do them by yourself, but I'm going to go ahead and keep going right here. Okay, so this right here, a negative divided by a positive is going to give you a negative 10. Let's see, right here is going to give you a positive 5. Right here, negative 20. Right here is negative 3. Right here is negative 15. Okay? Take a second right now, do the other side, pause the video, figure it out. So this right here is going to give us a negative 50, sorry. This right here is going to give us a negative 21. This here is going to be 11. This will give us a negative 8. This right here and give us positive 73, okay? To help you with these, you could have used that, you could have drawn that little tic-tac-toe chart to help you. Okay, so negative divided by positive gives me a negative answer. Negative divided by a negative gives us a positive answer. This one you could, like up here, you could designate this as negative 80 over divided by positive 4. So a negative divided by positive gives us a negative answer. Positive divided by negative gives us a negative answer. This one you can make either one negative, so let's make it just a negative 30 divided by positive 2. Negative divided by positive is a negative answer. Negative divided by positive is negative. This one you can make just that 84 negative. Negative 84 divided by positive 4 is negative 21. A negative divided by negative gives you a positive answer. 64 divided by a negative 8 is negative 8. 365 divided by 5. This one is positive divided by positive, so it's what you're used to, which is 73. Okay. For your summary, I want to know what happens if you see the negative sign in the middle when you're dividing. So if you had an example like this where you have a fraction and you have the negative sign in the middle and you're dividing the numerator divided by the denominator, what happens when the negative sign is in the middle? Please explain in a complete sentence if you're not going to rewrite the question.